What's up, everybody? Today on the GenX Vault, we're going to have Rob doing a retrospective on James Bond.
And have show and tell.
And of course, we're going to open the Box O Mystery. What's up, everybody? I am Chris Mitchell.
I'm Rob Kennedy.
Welcome to the GenX Vault. Today, Rob is leading the show. He said he wants to do a retrospective on James Bond, and I'm going to act as a color man, as usual, to his film guide.
There we go.
All right, Rob, what we got?
Okay, back in Christmas of 2012, I gifted myself the Christmas present.
Wait, you got yourself a Christmas present?
Oh, I always do.
Oh, I would too.
So I bought it. I gave it to Melinda. She wrapped it. I opened it up on Christmas morning and go, "Thank you. This is what I wanted."
This is what I wanted.
Yep. And it is the box set of Bond 50. 50 years. Okay. It was the box set, Blu-ray box set they released celebrating 50 years of James Bond.
How many movies is it?
It came with all of them from Dr. No up to Quantum of Solace, but it actually had a empty space in it to put in Skyfall, because Skyfall had not released yet.
Oh, and so you could actually put the disc in there. You could actually
put Skyfall in there, and it came in this nice little box, and it came in 2 booklets of movies.
Detail.
See, yep.
Wow.
By the year and everything else, and it came with this really cool book.
Oh yeah.
We'll get closer to that later. Of all the posters.
Oh yeah.
Domestic and worldwide. Of that. So that was back in Christmas of 2012.
That's funny that Roger Moore's the first one you see when you open it up. That's really weird. You'd expect Sean Connery to be the one.
But anyway, so fast forward to November of 2020, and I finally started watching the box set.
But you'd seen all these
nearly 8 years over.
You've pretty much seen all these.
I won't get into that because there were some surprises.
Okay.
So in November of 2020 through February of 2021, I watched all the canon James Bond movies.
What do you mean canon?
There was 2. There was one called from back in the 60s called Casino Royale that was kind of a spoof movie. Not the Casino Royale, but Daniel Craig. And it was unofficial. And then I'm going to talk about it a little bit. Sean Connery, his 7th James Bond movie was actually not part of the canon.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Get into that in a minute.
Okay.
It's part of the story.
All right.
Part of the retrospective.
All right. Retrospective.
And this is going to be a brief retrospective because you could spend days talking about all the James Bond movies.
Years.
But the interesting, James Bond is if you're a Gen Xer, James Bond was part of your growing up. But here's the interesting thing about James Bond. Baby boomers, Gen Xers, millennials, Gen Y,
all of them,
whatever it's called now, it spans that many generations.
That's right.
It's probably unique in that regard.
We were our age. I think it was a big deal when Timothy Dalton was kind of like the first Bond in a long time. Yep. Is that right?
He was. Timothy Dalton. Roger Moore's last Bond movie was in 1985, and Dalton took over in 1987.
Oh,
so
okay.
2-year gap.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
And the actual biggest gap was between Dalton and Brosnan, 6 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I remember when Dalton had the gig, everybody was talking about how they wanted to see Brosnan as it anyway.
Yeah.
But he had
was
a contract.
Doing Remington still.
Yeah, that's right.
So anyway, I went through all these things, and an interesting thing occurred to me that I would have sworn, it was almost like a Mandela effect type thing, where I would have sworn that the exact opposite was. When I got through this, I realized that I had never actually watched any of the Sean Connery or Roger Moore James Bond movies.
Really?
I had seen bits and pieces of them.
Okay, but never
on
the whole
TV,
thing.
But never had watched them all the way through. I actually realized that the first James Bond movie I ever saw was Living Daylights.
Okay,
with Timothy Dalton, and I saw it in the theater.
Right.
And I've seen everyone in the theater since then, but I had never watched any of the first 14 James Bond movies, with the exception of the Sean Connery non-canon James Bond movie. But yeah, that surprised me because I would have sworn to you that I had seen them. But really, it doesn't really surprise me because the Connery movies were in the 60s.
Right.
The last one being in 1971. Except for the non-canon one, which we'll get to. And then the Roger Moore movies, even in 1985 when A View to a Kill came out, I was 12. So James Bond really wasn't high on my list of things to watch. I remember that one the most because it had the MTV tie-in with Duran Duran and A View to a Kill.
That's right. Yeah,
Grace Jones was actually really big at that time
because she was also in the Conan.
Yeah,
movie
she's in the Conan movie. Conan
Wait a minute,
Destroyer.
I got a question on that. Was the Duran Duran song the actual theme for that?
What? A View to a Kill?
I can't sing it.
Duran Duran sang it, A View to a Kill.
Because the YouTube.
I'd added some Duran Duran songs on my playlist, and I noticed Duran Duran is one of those bands where a lot of their songs kind of sound the
similar.
Same.
They have a vibe. They have the 80s.
Kind of like some of Phil Collins' songs. They kind of, until you hear the words, you're not really exactly sure what
which
song
one
you're
it
listening
was.
to.
No, that's right. Yeah, I feel the same way.
But yeah. So but what I found watching 26 James Bond movies, or 25, or however many it was, overall, they're all pretty good. The only one that I just didn't like was On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which was
Sean Connery.
Nope, that was the one with George Lazenby.
And he was kind of he only did one?
Connery did the first 5 James Bond movies. He did 5 James Bond movies in 6 years.
Oh my God, he never stayed home.
Right. So he was like, I'm done with this. However,
yeah.
Sean Connery would say that. Probably a lot more colorful. So they brought in George Lazenby, who was like a male model.
Okay.
To take over.
But
he
not
was
an actor?
Awful.
Okay.
Yeah. And the movie wasn't good. He wasn't good. I was glad to see him go. So Sean Connery, they enticed him back with some cash to come back and do Diamonds Are Forever, which was his last official James Bond movie. Then Roger Moore took over. But here's an interesting thing. There's another James Bond movie called Never Say Never Again.
Right.
And it came out in 1983, and it starred Sean Connery.
Right. That wasn't a Bond film? A canon one?
Nope, wasn't a canon one, because the Cliff Notes version of the story is apparently the books were licensed book by book or something like that. And there was something weird. You have to look it up because I don't know that I didn't research it this in depth. But there was something weird with the book that inspired Thunderball.
Okay.
Which was his 4th James Bond movie.
Okay.
Something about Thunderball. Somebody else had the rights to it, and they had the rights to make a James Bond movie. So they actually enticed Connery to come back and make a James Bond movie outside of the established canon. But there were rules to it they had to follow. They couldn't say 007. He couldn't, like a lot of his, I'm not sure I'm getting all these right, but like classic trademarks like the Martini, and maybe they couldn't say MI6. There's certain things they couldn't do.
Wow.
Because of licensing. So that year, that was the Battle of the Bonds, because Octopussy came out in 1983.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And so did Never Say Never Again. And so that was everybody who was interested at that time was, which one is going to do better. Well, Roger Moore soundly defeated Sean Connery.
Really?
Octopussy was a better critical movie, and it made more money.
Wow.
But now, Roger Moore and Sean Connery were really good friends. And they had actually worked out among themselves where at the end of Never Say Never Again, Sean Connery's Bond was going to be walking down the street, and he was going to bump into a guy crossing him. And the guy was going to turn around, and it was going to be Roger Moore. And Roger Moore was going to say never again.
Huh.
At all. But
it didn't happen?
Yeah, but they were both willing to do it, and the studio was like, or director was like, no, we're not doing that.
Oh, man.
So that would have been cool. But anyway.
A little bit of...
But Never Say Never Again is basically a remake of Thunderball.
Okay.
It's the same plot line, a lot of the same beats.
And I don't think I've ever seen...
I think very strange. And it's watchable, and it's interesting, but it's not a great Bond movie.
Okay, let me ask you a quick question. It's time to check my color here.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Bond girl?
Oh, yeah, I'm getting on that.
Oh, you're getting that?
Yep.
Okay. What about a favorite Bond song?
Yep, getting that too.
You're getting that too?
Yep.
All right.
But I'm giving my top 3.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
okay.
We're getting there.
I'm trying to hustle him along.
Yeah.
It's
so anyway,
list.
it's going to go fine. The more you say that, the longer it takes.
I'm just saying.
Can you just go with it, please?
Trying.
God.
Trying.
People don't know what I put up
He
with.
doesn't edit.
All right. So, moving right along because of Chris being... Roger Moore took over, and honestly, I thought I kind of had in my mind that the Moore films are going to be the weak link and all this. I was wrong. I really liked Roger Moore as James Bond, and it's scary how much he sounds just like Ewan McGregor.
Okay,
but I really liked Roger Moore. He brought he was very physical with the role. and very suave. And I mean, he kind of took what Sean Connery did and amped it up a little bit.
Kind of had to.
There's a lot. He played Bond the most officially 7 times.
Oh wow!
But see, when he first played the first one, he was already 43 or something like that.
Yeah, so he was already.
And that was in 1973. Live and Let Die.
That's kind of the argument they've always made over the years. Bond is not a 25-year-old.
Yeah,
Bond is sophisticated. Yep. He's 40s. He knows how he likes his drinks.
Yep.
And that's kind of the thing.
Yeah, and he likes his women and
his cars and his watches.
He is who he is, and he's going to do what he wants to do.
That's right.
But interesting thing about in Live and Let Die, a lot of it takes place in Louisiana.
Oh.
And he gets captured. Bond gets captured. Roger Moore gets captured, and they take him to this alligator farm. And so there's this little pond with just teeming with alligators, and they put Bond on a little tiny island in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they leave him there to die because the only way he can get across is to go through all the alligators, and they're hungry. So I'm sitting here watching this, and Bond sees a boat that he can get to, that's going to get him. So he doesn't know what to do. No joke. He walks across the alligators' heads. And I'm thinking to myself, somebody at Atari or Activision or whoever it was saw this and made Pitfall.
They made Pitfall.
And because I called JT in the room, I was like, look, it's Pitfall.
That's right.
On the screen.
What year was that one?
Live and Let Die, that was 1973.
Okay, so that certainly could have been an inspiration.
So the person, it predated Pitfall.
Pitfall Harry.
Yep, exactly.
I think that's his name.
Audrey will make a mention because up until GoldenEye, which was Pierce Brosnan's first movie.
Which I love that movie.
M was kind of a dry, stale character.
Okay.
And then they replaced M with Judi Dench.
Okay.
Dame Judi Dench. And she took it up a notch.
Yeah.
She was great.
Yeah. Wait, now she is still M in the Daniel Craig movies, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought. I'm not good on my actors' names, so I'm trying to remember that.
Spoilers ahead. She does die.
Okay, in the Daniel Craig one.
Yeah, she does in the
last Daniel Craig one. That's right. Yeah. Right. That movie's been out for 3 or 4 years. Yeah. I think we're okay on that.
And given our viewership, I think we're really okay.
I think we're okay. Yeah. All 24 of you guys.
Yeah. Well, I think 12 of those are me.
Okay. All 12 of you guys.
An interesting. I like numbers again. And an interesting happened with James Bond with the Daniel Craig movies.
You should have been a statistician, man.
Daniel Craig's his second movie was Quantum of Solace.
Okay.
Which, in my opinion, is also his weakest movie as James Bond. But Quantum of Solace was actually domestically the highest-grossing James Bond movie. It made $168 million.
Okay.
The James Bond movies, while they have been consistent moneymakers, they've never been huge blockbusters.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The biggest worldwide movie at that James Bond had was Casino Royale with over $608 million worldwide.
That was a good movie.
It
was a good movie.
But here's Skyfall hit, and all of a sudden James Bond blew up.
Mm-hmm.
Skyfall made $304 million domestically and over $1 billion worldwide.
Wow, that is massive.
I mean, and when you go back and you look at the box office history of James Bond, there's nothing to lead you to see why that happened.
Yeah. Well, I think that so Skyfall had Adele's song.
Yep.
Which, and I'm not saying that was a major contributor.
Look, we're already on page 2.
I'm proud of you, man.
And it's not even a full page.
I'm proud of him. But that Adele song, what's cool about that is, I'm going to interject a little color here. Okay. So that, when you think of a Bond song, there's always that minor looming darkness feel to it. And her song was, to me, when they said she was going to do it, I thought, oh, that's really awesome. Then I heard the song and I was like, oh man, that is. It's
it'll make you want to run through a wall.
It's fantastic. She's got those big intervals. It sounds like the old 60s sound, and that's her perfect voice to do it. Yep. Now, Billie Eilish's song, which is about the one that hasn't come out yet, it still holds that Bond. I mean, so good on Billie Eilish
Billie Eilish is impressive.
She's incredible.
Because I have a teenage daughter, so I hear Billie Eilish.
Yep.
And that girl's impressive.
She's amazing. Yeah. She is an amazing musician. So, as a seasoned musician myself, hats off to you, Billie Eilish. You are phenomenal.
And someone who's listening to music. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Rob listens to a lot of music. And the fact that we're Gen Xers liking Billie Eilish, hey, man, that's the way to go.
Yep. Okay, now we're going to get into...
Has Lady Gaga ever done one?
I don't think so.
She would be a good candidate for that. She would. And Amy Winehouse never did one either. Right?
I don't think
But Amy
so.
Winehouse would have been a phenomenal one to do that.
Melinda
had she
loved
could have.
that.
Well, I
Amy
mean,
Winehouse.
I did too. That Rehab was a killer song, man.
Moving along, like I said, that was just a brief thing because, like I said, you could spend a whole session of shows talking about James Bond.
Oh yeah,
easy. Now we're just going to get into some of my favorites. My 3 favorite villains are these are the main villains of the movie.
no OddJob.
Yeah, no.
That's a N64.
He's a henchman.
That's right.
My favorite villains are number 3 is Sean Bean as Alec Trevelyan.
Oh yeah,
GoldenEye.
Yeah.
006
because he did the flipperoo on him. That's right. He was great.
In another movie in which Sean Bean died.
That's right. I bet he dies in every movie. That's right.
Mads Mikkelsen as Le Chiffre in Casino Royale.
He was great in that.
He cried blood.
Oh yeah, that was great.
And James Bond does things like that, like cried blood. Like in The Man with the Golden Gun, which was Christopher Lee, was the villain. It was so weird because James Bond is asking, how will I know who this guy is? And he's like, he has 3 nipples.
Like you're gonna always see him without a shirt.
Yeah,
well,
and there he is. So I can just picture James Bond going to people going, "Nope, you're not it." 1, 2,
nope. Or just feeling the chest. Yeah. What's that in the center?
3. Nope, that's a mole. You're not him. So Mads Mikkelsen is Le Chiffre, and my favorite James Bond villain because he was just so out there and is played by a great actor. Javier Bardem as Silva in Skyfall.
Okay.
He was that one, he was a former MI6 agent, and he hated M because he felt like M hung him out to dry.
That's right.
And he, so he was like taking down MI6
he wasn't in that explosion in GoldenEye, was he? That wasn't where he got hurt. No. Okay. I remembered him, but he was in a previous Bond movie.
Was he?
Wasn't he? I don't know. We'll look that up and we'll write it down in the credits.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Okay. Real quick question. Who was it? Okay. Who was the guy? It was Freddie Mercury. He played Freddie Mercury in the Queen movie, and he was good too. Yeah. Is he in the new movie?
I think he's in the new movie.
Okay, so it was weird about this is you talk about the not the Mendelssohn effect. What'd you call it? The
Mandela effect.
The Mandela effect.
Where you think you've seen something that never happened.
Those trailers have been out so long now. I was like, did I see that movie? Yeah, there's no way I could have seen that movie.
Yeah, because it was scheduled to come out in 2020 or 19 or
19, I think.
And they moved it 20 because of some reason, and then the pandemic hit. And then,
Well, okay, so and it's funny that you said the Mandela effect because I had to look it up last week for something. So why was this named that? Because there was a period that everybody thought that Nelson Mandela had died in prison.
Oh yeah,
and so they called that the Mandela effect.
Yeah,
so it's like crazy.
It's like a good example of that is. People swear that Tom Cruise in Risky Business, where he does the dance across the floor, they swear he's wearing sunglasses.
That's right.
But he's not.
That's right.
He wears sunglasses in the poster.
That's right.
But not in...
And then, of course, Luke, I'm your father, which he never says. That's right. So that's just one of those things where it becomes kind of a cultural pop thing. It gets embedded in your head. And then, okay, side note, I read that some people think that that's proof that there's alternate universes because they were in another universe and they were swear it happened, and now they're in this one where it didn't happen. So crazy.
Yeah, but when your IQ is below a certain level, and trust me, you haven't figured out anything about alternate universes.
That's right. You know?
All right, and I'm below that level too, so I'm not.
I'm skating just on the corner.
Yeah. My 3 favorite henchmen.
Oh, now
these are the
no OddJob.
The bad guys who work for the villains.
Okay.
Famke Jensen as Xenia Onatopp in
GoldenEye.
Yeah. Remember, she was quite memorable at the time.
On the top.
And Famke is a beautiful woman. So
absolutely,
she played Jean Grey in the X-Men movies.
That's who that was.
Yeah,
I didn't. Oh wow, that's right. Yeah. Where's she from?
Not here. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know. I have to look it up.
I never thought about this. She's faking an American accent.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I don't know if she's one of those. I don't know if she was just an actor from the get-go, or she was a model at some point and then became an actress.
Well, she did well. I mean, she did a good job in the.
Yeah, she's a great actress. She does good. My second favorite henchman is Harold Sakata as OddJob in Goldfinger. I mean, how iconic is OddJob?
Well, okay, if you played N64 Bond a lot, which I did, there was a rule amongst us players: no OddJob. Because he was so small, you couldn't see the little bastard. And everybody's shooting at this eye level, and everybody's like, no OddJob.
JT and I was talking about this the other night. What was the James Bond movie for the Nintendo?
It was GoldenEye.
It's GoldenEye.
N64 was the... Okay, so GoldenEye...
Which console was the N64?
That's the N64. The Nintendo 64.
I know, but... What was the very first one? The first one was the Nintendo Entertainment System, right?
The very first one.
Then Super Mario. Was that the Cube? That wasn't the Cube.
No.
Okay,
I
don't know video games.
Okay, so technically Nintendo had an entertainment system out right before the Nintendo Entertainment System in Japan. Then the NES, which is the square one where Super Mario Brothers was,
right,
for for American markets.
Yeah.
Then they had the Super Nintendo. Then the N64, and the N64 is what GoldenEye came.
You had one of those.
I had one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that.
Okay. That's a highly rated game, isn't it?
Oh, that's one of the top. Yeah, that really is what launched the first-person shooter on consoles.
Right.
Because without that game, it was the one where because everybody PC played first-person shooters on PC before. That was the one that said it can be a viable.
Yeah, because I remember going over to your apartment when we first met, and you would play that game.
That's right.
And I remember one time you tried to get me to play the maddest I think Chris has ever gotten out of me that I've actually been in the room with him. You were trying to get me to play Rogue Squadron or something, X-wing game.
Okay.
And I told him ahead of time, I was like, I cannot do all the buttons. He's like, it's easy, man, just do this. So I'm sitting there playing the X-wing game, and I'm crashing and I'm dying and everything. And I think Chris thinks I'm just being a jerk, and because he's like getting mad at me. He's like, no, just do this. I'm like, I'm trying. He's like, no, you're not.
I don't remember that.
I do.
Okay, so
you yelled at me.
Now that I want to tell you a funny little thing about that N64 game. This was when I had that was really the internet was in its infancy, and you guys have to remember that YouTube didn't exist then,
right?
And iTunes, when that first came out, iTunes really wasn't a thing either.
Yeah.
So I remember having to learn the James Bond theme, and one of my students I think wanted to learn the James Bond thing. The only way I had it was the N64. I had to keep putting that cartridge in and resetting it over and over and over and learn that thing by ear from the video game. And so the coolest thing about that is that James Bond chord, that wow, 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 that you hear, at the beginning. That's what we call a minor major 7 chord. And what's cool about that is it's the most dissonant, just disturbing sounding chord other than a diminished chord that you can have. It just sounds so spooky. But that's what's cool about the Adele and the Billie Eilish tune.
Right.
They kind of invoke all those James Bond themes, but make it their own, and it's really cool. So I like that. Really cool. But I spent a lot of time resetting that damn N64. Man, I did.
My favorite henchman is Richard Kiel, who played Jaws.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and he was the only henchman to appear in 2.
He was in Moonraker,
The Spy Who Loved Me, and Moonraker. And in
Moonraker, turned out to be a good guy.
Moonraker, he turned good.
Right.
The love of a woman turned him good.
And that was, I guess, because he was a fan favorite. Maybe you think? They did that?
I think so. I think because he was just so. Because he was 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
Big guy.
The exact opposite of OddJob.
Yeah. And he had, so he's like this huge guy that could just crush you with his hand. But he never did that. He had metal teeth, and he would bite you. He would rip your neck out.
Is that what he did?
Yeah. It was really disturbing because he would grab you. He would grab the guy who's going to kill, and instead of choking him and killing him, he would do this move.
What year was that?
Headed toward his neck.
What year was that? Though? What year was that?
That was in let's see. Spy Who Loved Me was in 1977.
Okay, so they were playing off of 75's Jaws.
Yeah.
Easily playing off that card. So they said, we got a guy that's like a Jaws,
Yeah. And Richard Kiel, for what I read about, he was like a gentle giant.
Right.
And, he was
kind of like a David Prowse or not a David Prowse, a Peter Mayhew.
Yeah.
Peter Mayhew.
And another little side note about the James Bond movies is none of them are rated R.
Really?
And the early ones are all PG.
Even the new ones?
Yeah, PG-13.
Huh.
I don't know about this last one, but I imagine it will be.
That?
But and I think it was the set people and all who did this. They slip in a shocking amount of nudity in the James Bond movies.
Really?
Yeah, it's from posters on the back wall of submarines to to scene transitions to
just skirting.
Because when you're watching on the 65-inch high def TV,
you can see the detail.
You're like, oh, okay, wow.
Yeah,
they really did that.
Yeah.
Or the silhouettes,
right?
They would do at the beginning. I mean, they would get pretty detailed in their silhouettes. It was interesting.
Yeah. Well, that must be the Austin Powers, the joke that the silhouettes with the background. They were trying to do the James Bond thing.
Spy Who Shagged Me.
Yeah. So Austin Powers is one of your favorite James Bond films?
No, it's not actually.
Is that canon?
But it's weird. It's weird. I'd seen the Austin Powers movies and going back and watching the. Because most of the stuff they parody is from the Sean Connery
right.
So watching the Sean Connery films for what turned out to be the first time, I was like, oh,
that's where they get it from. That's where they get it from. That's right.
Favorite car? He drove a lot of cars. You know, surprisingly, when you think of James Bond and car, what do you think?
Aston Martin.
Surprisingly, drove an Aston Martin very few.
Was it a BMW or a Jag?
All kind of different cars.
Was there? But was there one that's more than others, like a Jag or a BMW?
Maybe.
Because I know that Pierce Brosnan.
Like I said, I'm going off. 5 to 6 months of memory here.
Yeah. Well, I think Pierce Brosnan's last ones they had that BMW. He was controlling the remote control or something like that. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a cool car. Because I don't know what kind it was.
Yeah.
Because I'd actually, this was going to be my next topic before we went on hiatus.
Yes.
And also, but my favorite car was actually the Lotus Spirit S1 from The Spy Who Loved Me.
Okay.
That was the car. It was very angular.
It would go in the water.
And it went to the water and turned the submarine, which was an amazing practical effect.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That car was cool.
Was that the movie where he had the 2 CO2 cartridges on the side of his mouth and he had to do some underwater scenes?
Maybe.
Okay, so in that documentary I saw of James Bond on the internet one night, they said that they had done a scene. It was either Sean Connery or Roger Moore. And he was under the water, and they had two Secret Service or CIA or military officials approach the filmmaker, and they said, "We want to know what kind of apparatus that was that he had." And it was literally a block of wood with 2 CO2 cartridges stuck to it. And they said, "Well, it was just a prop." He goes, "No. He was under the water for 8 minutes."
They did a lot of scuba scenes, in James Bond movies, and a lot of skiing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. All these high Richie stuff. Well, but the funny thing is, what had happened in that CIA scene or whatever, they had said, well, no, we saw him under there for 8 minutes. He was under there for like a long time. So we want to know how you did that. And he goes, and that's when it occurred to the director, oh, they don't understand about editing. They don't understand this was not shot at one time. Yeah. They would shoot for 20 seconds, cut, shoot another, let it take a breath, shoot another 20 seconds. Didn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what that was then. So wait, before you finish this, I got a question for you. Mm-hmm. How has James Bond affected your life and style as a Gen Xer?
None.
Okay, I have to say that I'm not a big watch person at all, but I will say that I go with this style, the scuba style, because of James Bond. And my uncle had one, and he was into James Bond, so that kind of trickled down. So that's why I did that. That's true. So,
let's see. Favorite songs. My 3 favorite songs from James Bond movies were most memorable to me. Number 3, A View to a Kill by Duran Duran.
That's interesting.
Just because I think that's when I first because that's when I was really getting into music and MTV and all that. MTV was playing it nonstop.
Saturated.
Number 2, Live and Let Die by Wings. Paul McCartney.
Yep.
And Wings, and that's a cool song because that song it fits because McCartney, I think if I remember correctly, he had to fight to convince them to let him do the song.
Really?
Because you can't. We need an up-tempo song. And Live and Let Die. I mean, Live and Let Die. It feels like. I mean, it feels like James Bond.
Mm-hmm. It does. It does. Especially in that. And you remember GNR, Guns N' Roses did a cover of that. Remember that? They did that. Yeah. Which is probably one of the fewer Wings tune that you kind of hear. Yeah. That's one of the bigger ones they ever had, with Paul McCartney. But that's cool. Yeah. That's something that says something when Paul McCartney, Sir Paul McCartney, has to fight to get a song in a British production. You know what I mean? That says something.
Quick aside. Did Paul McCartney form Wings, or was Wings a group and they said, "Come sing with us"?
It was definitely. I'll put it to you this way: when you think of Wings, it's only Paul McCartney that you think of. So whatever the outcome was, I don't know. Well, Linda McCartney, his wife, was in the group.
Oh, really?
She sang. Yeah,
I know nothing about. I mean, I knew there was Wings, and I knew it was him.
Yeah, I mean, it's really Paul McCartney. It really is. Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong about this, Ashley and I saw Paul McCartney live 3 years ago in Austin City Limits Music Festival. It was amazing. He was 72 at the time. He sang for 3 hours, 2.5 hours straight. Wow. Did not take one sip of water. It was 85 degrees at 10 o'clock at night.
Dang.
And I mean, and as
Paul.
I mean, I was dying.
That's why he's Sir Paul McCartney.
That's why he's Sir Paul McCartney. And his voice was impeccable. He memorized all the chords. He had no mistakes. And the thing is if I'm not mistaken, I think the musicians that were playing with him, the couple guitar players and maybe and Paul, of course, played everything. Yeah. But I think a couple of those guys were with Wings because I'd seen them on earlier productions of what he had done. Even if they weren't with Wings, I think they were with the group that he did. When he did My Brave Face back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Doesn't ring a bell, but probably if I heard it.
It was kind of a video he had on MTV, but I think they were with the same guys playing with him then. So,
we didn't get cable ties in college, so
okay, yeah.
An absolute favorite James Bond song, Skyfall.
Oh, that's a great song.
It's just.
I think I kind of agree with you on that. Yeah. I kind of have to agree with you on that.
I mean, it was a toss up. I mean, I was looking at Live and Let Die and Skyfall, but I was like, all due respect, Skyfall just
it sounds like it could be in the Bond intro all through the song. Did Nancy Sinatra ever do a Bond tune? Did she do Goldfinger or any of those?
It's very possible she did.
Okay, well, I'm going to look that up and post that down here at the bottom because she sounds like she could have.
I kind of want to say she did.
I want to say that
that tracks.
Yeah, that sounds.
Bond gadgets. There's too many to consider.
Oh,
yeah. There's just too many. You can't. And the thing about watching 26 Bond movies over a 4-month period is it's kind of hard to separate what happened where. A lot of times.
Oh yeah.
And I remember this, but did that happen in The Man with the Golden Gun?
Or that happen? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Let me ask you this real quick. To jump in on what I was saying too. That other way that the Bond thing is affecting me too. The reason why I have the Walther is because of Bond. Yeah. So and I don't have the PP7.
It's the Walther PPK, isn't it?
It is, yeah, PP7, PPK, whatever. Yeah. And I have the little 22 version, which is but it was because of the I think it was the last Pierce Brosnan film, not the first Daniel Craig. I think it was the last Pierce Brosnan. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but
there's thinking about that. There's one thing. If you want to have a cool drinking game, and this is going to sound dirty, but I don't mean it to sound dirty.
Oh man.
I think it's Goldfinger. Goldfinger is the Sean Connery film where Pussy Galore.
Oh my God!
And I swear, Sean Connery,
for sure,
when he's talking to her, he says for sure. He like every sentence he says it, and I think he was just doing it.
How many times?
So if you have a drinking game over while watching Goldfinger, I'm pretty sure it's the movie she's in, and you take a drink every time that Sean Connery says, "All right, for sure, what are you reporting?" And, you will get drunk really fast.
Real fast. And you're going to have to substitute some of those jack shots. For you.
That is the character's name.
Yeah, that's right.
The character is named Pussy Galore. And that's her name.
On the top.
Yep.
We get it.
On the top, yeah.
We get it.
Yeah, James Bond was not the most
politically correct
female-friendly series. Which brings us to the next one. I actually asked Melinda, I said, is it okay if I do this? I said, because I know it's kind of falling out of favor. She's like, just do it. My 3 favorite Bond girls.
Okay.
Ursula Andress as Honey Rider in Dr. No.
Okay.
There's your name, Honey Rider. Number 2, Barbara Bach as Anya Amasova in The Spy Who Loved Me. Spy Who Loved Me is one of the better James Bond movies.
Okay.
And then my favorite Bond girl is Michelle Yeoh as Wei Lin in Tomorrow Never Dies.
Okay.
I love Michelle Yeoh. She's a great actress. And to call her a Bond girl is kind of a disservice.
Because she's really just kind of a love interest,
she's basically the Chinese version of Bond.
Yeah. But what happens in that, they do have a love interest by the time it develops.
Yeah.
But it's not like she's the getting out of the ocean.
Right. She doesn't need Bond to save her.
Right.
Because she's a badass in her own right.
That's right. Right. I don't think Halle Berry needed it either.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Real quick, my least favorite Bond movie was On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Terrible movie. George Lazenby was terrible Bond. I'm glad they didn't renew that he kind of parted ways with them. He was kind of a playboy and he didn't really want to get and he wanted like a lot of money and he
didn't work out.
Awful. Yeah.
When you're not a good actor and you make a bad movie, you can't really negotiate, The
most bonkers Bond movie was Moonraker. Moonraker is just
had a space shuttle in it.
It's just had a bunch of space shuttles in
it. Did it?
Yeah. Okay. Because like the bad guy had built like a space station.
Okay, I remember that.
That's no moon. I mean, it was out there.
Okay.
It's space. And Moonraker has, real quick, when...
Statistics.
Yeah. When The Spy Who Loved Me, at the end of credits, it would say James Bond will return in the next movie.
Right.
And they would give the title. So when The Spy Who Loved Me ended, they said James Bond will return in For Your Eyes Only. Well, then Star Wars hit.
Oh.
And the studios were like, we're doing Moonraker next.
Yeah, something in space.
And Moonraker has lasers. They have a laser fight war on the thing. The space shuttles. There's like 5 or 6 of them that go up. They go from space to Earth and Earth. It is just bonkers. It's fun, but it's bonkers.
I can imagine though they would have thought at that time oh God, how do we compete with this?
Yeah,
we can't just go back to shoot 'em up, bang bang. They got to have something with lasers.
Yep.
Sharks with freaking lasers.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Ranking the Bonds.
Okay, here we go.
Ranking the Bonds.
What do we start with? Number what?
Outside of George Lazenby, he's my least favorite Bond.
Are we doing
I don't
three?
like him at all.
You doing three?
I'm just going to run down real quick.
Okay.
It's just going to be a list. Now these next 5, I like them all, but somebody had to be 4th, 3rd, 2nd. So I don't have a problem with any of them. My 5th favorite Bond is Timothy Dalton, and I really like Timothy Dalton, but he's only in 2 movies.
Okay.
So he didn't really get a chance to screw things up.
Oh, you're ranking the actual Bonds.
Yeah, and not based on the movies. I'm ranking the actors that I thought portrayed Bond the best.
Right.
Number 3, Daniel Craig. I like Daniel Craig, and I really like his movies. But his movies rebooted Bond, and Daniel Craig, he's almost like a Bond Jason Bourne hybrid.
That's true.
Than he is the classic Bond. My 3rd favorite Bond is Sean Connery. His movies are very dated, but he still, he kind of defined the role and made Bond what we see. But his movies are very 60s.
Right.
And my 2nd favorite Bond, surprised me, is Roger Moore. He brought a suaveness and a debonair to the role, and expanded on what Connery had done. And the actor who I felt just nailed Bond and who was the perfect Bond and was everything Bond should have been was Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, really?
He's my favorite Bond.
I thought
even though his movies, his last 2 movies weren't my favorite. I thought he was the perfect personification of James Bond.
Was his last one the guy with diamonds in his face? That guy.
Another Day.
Was it the guy with the diamonds in his face?
Yeah, I think so. He was a Korean.
Yeah, couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
So the weird thing about I think that Pierce Brosnan was a really good Bond. Like GoldenEye is one of the best, in my opinion. It's one of the best Bond films, because it kind of had an element of everything in it, but it had comedy too. It had a good, and they all do.
Yeah, they all do.
Moments. But it made a great video game. I'll tell you that much. It made an incredible video game. And actually, they have not successfully made another Bond video game as successful as that. They haven't.
Okay, and the final thing is my favorite Bond movie, and this surprised me, but when you watch that many movies that close together, you have them fresh in your mind, and so you're able to make an informed decision. But my favorite Bond movie that, didn't expect it, actually, because I'd seen it before, and I really didn't expect it, but when I watched them all together, this movie stood out kind of in my mind. There was some front runners like The Spy Who Loved Me and From Russia with Love and GoldenEye, but my favorite Bond movie is Tomorrow Never Dies with Pierce Brosnan. It's the second one. Right. It's the one with Michelle Yeoh, and that's the villain in it is a newspaper magnate and such. But it's one of those things where information is power,
right?
And what he plans to do. But it's just, to me, it was just the perfect mix of action and intrigue and Bond being Bond and good. So yeah, Tomorrow Never Dies. But that's my very brief James Bond retrospective after finally watching all the James Bond movies and from my collector set after 8 years.
What is the studio that owns Bond's distribution?
MGM.
Okay, and they don't have a streaming service yet or anything like that.
Oh, MGM just got bought by Amazon.
So it'll eventually be on Amazon.
Yeah, and Amazon will not only will be on Amazon, Amazon will then produce all new James Bond movies.
Okay, well, that's interesting. Well, they've done a lot with a lot of things, so that'll be interesting to see what they do with this.
Yep.
Golly, man, owning the freaking world, man.
So that is it. Hopefully, I didn't take too long.
Oh, that's good.
Chris did several asides, so if he's going to cut anything.
I told him I was going to be a color man.
Yeah,
you got to be a color man.
Yeah. But,
all right, so so I'm going to jump in here real quick about not about the Bond thing, but real quick. Loki just finished. Loki just finished, and Rob and I there was a comedy of errors of everything that happened between our last episode and this one.
Yeah.
And I'm still working on fixing our CNC machine, which I'm hoping I'll resolve that tomorrow. But I just finished Loki. Did you finish Loki?
I finished Loki.
Okay, so we're not going to really go over any spoilers or anything like that. But just quick question for you. So did you like it?
I did. Time travel is a pet peeve of mine.
It's always a thing.
Even though, and hypocritically, some of my favorite movies deal with time travel.
Like Back to the Future.
No, I don't like Back to the Future.
You don't like Back to the Future?
I like Terminator 2 and Avengers Endgame.
You don't like Back to the Future?
Actually, I don't.
Really?
And honestly, to be fair, I actually gave it another shot a few months ago.
Back to the Future?
And I couldn't even finish it. I do not like Back to the Future.
I do not like Back to the Future.
I don't like it.
Okay. Well, but
Not a
let
BTT
me ask you
accent.
your opinion on this,
Okay.
because you're not a true audiophile, neither am I, but you are very particular with audio. Have you noticed? And I've noticed this with Loki, with Mandalorian, and the Bad Batch, that the dialogue audio sometimes is damn near you can't hear it, and then all of a sudden the explosion will happen, and it's shaking my house. And here's the thing. I've listened to this. I've done this show. I actually wrote to Disney this week.
Yeah.
I wrote them about this. I'm like, look, guys. I mean, hey, it usually gets me in trouble,
Yeah.
but this time I think they'll give me a big. We don't care. But I'm serious. If pay attention, and to be in full disclosure, I don't have the greatest hearing of any human being on the planet. But I was on a plane thinking, okay, I'm gonna just some of the stuff I'm gonna be listening to is gonna be hard to hear because of the engines and blah blah blah. But I'm listening to with noise canceling headphones. I'm listening to an episode of Loki, and I'm still going, oh my god, what are they saying? But then I watched the Nat Geo documentary that Lawrence Fishburne's The Year Million. It's crystal clear. All the dialogue is crystal clear.
Well, that's not Disney. That's each individual show.
But it's Nat Geo.
Sound mix.
It's Nat Geo, right?
Yeah.
So my complaint is, please, Disney, Marvel, get some engineers that can make the levels balanced.
It's not sticking out in my head if I had issues with that, because I notice things like that too.
Dude, it was all over the place.
But I don't know.
Okay, so
I did have my soundbar on, and sometimes that, but I can't remember that being a specific problem. I know Christopher Nolan films are bad about that.
Christopher Nolan films,
where the dialogue is
it's just way down,
and it's like then boom, and
okay. So in normal circumstances, I wouldn't I'd be like, okay, I'm deaf rock and roller. But here's the deal: me and Ashley are watching it, and that one scene in Loki where they're talking to the timekeepers, I'm like, and she looks at me, and goes, "What are they saying?" And I said, I have no clue. Matter of fact, I watched it with my headphones full volume.
I may have had some issues.
I had to watch it with closed captioning to understand what they were saying.
Well, that's what I like about HBO Max, and I think Disney does this too. If you rewind and you play, like you rewind 30 seconds and you play, it'll automatically do closed captions for like 30, 40 seconds, so you can read what they.
Well, I mean, I watched all. I know I sound like an old man yelling at a movie theater, but the reality is that you, honest to God, like in no other program have I had that issue, but here I am watching it, and Bad Batch isn't so bad. With headphones I can pretty much get on it. But Mandalorian was that way. The Loki was horrible that way. And actually, Captain America and Winter Soldier was that way. Or Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was.
I noticed that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was the weirdest thing because there would be times, especially in Loki, he'd be talking to the female Loki, which is Sylvie, and he would be, she's talking like this, and I'm like, whoa, what's he saying? What's he saying? And I'm like, I realize it's a whisper, but you can make whispers audible, and then when the explosions happen, just bring it down. Yeah. Bring it down.
I know I geeked out hard in the Bad Batch.
I'm not. Whoa, I haven't finished it yet.
Oh, you haven't finished it?
No, I've got whatever episodes are left. I think I have one episode or two episodes left. So I have about. I know you like. Was it Cutter?
Did you see the one where they had the where Hunter had the encounter with the bounty hunter?
No, I didn't. Okay. Oh, yes, I did. Cad Bane?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
I love Cad Bane.
Okay.
I love Cad Bane's my favorite bounty
hunter. He's a Clint Eastwood sort of.
Yeah. And my God, when Hunter went around the corner with Omega and Cad Bane's waiting at the ship, and they have their old style gun fight, and Cad Bane doesn't even touch his gun. Yeah. He just strums his fingers. Yeah. Oh, man. I called JT in there. I was like, watch this.
Yeah. So... Okay, and I didn't watch any of I didn't know any of the Cad Bane history, but I know who he is. But,
I love Cad Bane.
But here's the thing: I was going to ask you this. So there's that. I'll tell you where I'm at. I think I've got one more episode left. The episode that I just saw.
So you didn't watch the last one.
They have not gotten. Wait, have they gotten her back? I don't know if they've gotten her back. I don't know if they have yet. But either way, yes, they have gotten her back. But
so you've seen the one.
Wait. Maybe I haven't seen. What now?
Fennec Shand.
Yes, I've seen the one with Fennec Shand. Yes, I have. So she's back to kind of get the girl too,
right?
For whatever other reasons, but I don't know what happens.
And they kill poor Tonway.
Don't?
No, that's in the episode with Fennec Shand.
What now? Well, she was in.
Fennec Shand kills Tonway.
Who?
Fennec Shand. Tonway.
Who's Tonway?
You know who Tonway is?
Mm-mm.
From Attack of the Clones.
Mm-mm.
Boba is your father here.
I've never seen.
You never seen Attack of the Clones?
Oh, the movie. Oh, it wasn't. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you meant.
Wow.
I was thinking Clone Wars. Okay, so no, I haven't seen that one. Fennec Shand is in 2 of them. She's in the one with Cad Bane.
Mm-hmm.
So, spoiler alert, I have not seen her kill Tonwa, which you just told me about. Remember, Fennec Shand is in the one where Cad Bane is on that Cloud City thing, and she's also shooting at Cad Bane. She's in that one.
No, that's the one after her.
No, I haven't seen her kill Tonwa or whatever.
You weren't paying attention then.
She didn't kill Tonwa with the one I saw. I don't think.
Because Fennec Shand doesn't show up until after. Because you knew that Cad Bane took Omega.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just need to watch that. I watched that last one. We can talk about that. But
you spoiled me before. I don't care.
Well, I don't know if I don't know if I.
You won't remember. By the time you get to your TV, you won't remember this conversation happened.
I'll remember it. I'll remember it. I'm not like Ashley. Ashley can watch movies and she doesn't remember what we watched. So I usually remember the movies. But okay, let me ask you this. So, but you haven't noticed that audio thing?
No,
that's been a pet peeve, man.
I noticed it. I noticed audio issues. I can't remember specifically if I've noticed about those.
So you understood what those timekeepers were saying? I mean, it was like, I'm sucking all this out.
Well, I understood what they were saying.
Well, the reverb was like through the freaking roof.
They were just spouting time travel mumbo jumbo.
Mumbo jumbo, yeah. But still, it was like, the reverb was through the roof. And it was like, I get it. It's a square room. You're going to have reverb. But then the dialogue between
it's not really a square room.
Well, whatever it's shaped like. It was a big foggy room. I know that. Yeah. Designed for... And I first said when they walked in, I was like, man, those things are like animatronics.
Yeah.
And then, that's right. All right, so cool. Well, that was Rob's recap of the Bond franchise over the last 50 years. 50 years.
More
right?
now.
More than years?
Well, 50 years was 2012, so it's approaching 60 years.
50 movies then? 50 years of...
No.
It says 50 years of movies. Movie posters.
That was from 2012.
Oh, okay.
So it's approaching 60 years of James Bond.
Yes, it is. Holy crap.
We're getting old.
That's right. All right. So now we're going to go ahead. It is time for... It's time for show and tell, boys and girls. So I'm going to bend over and grab this bad boy. Let's see. Normally I frown on the bending over, but I've got this...
Chris's leg is touching my leg right now, and it's kind of weird.
In the world. All right. For my show and tell... I picked up one of the series black series, if you will, Stormtrooper helmets.
Yep.
Of the
First Order
Stormtrooper helmets. And I will say this. We've talked about this before. The original Stormtrooper is one of my favorite designs ever in cinematic history.
Can't beat it.
But the First Order, I mean, man, they killed it. They knocked it out of the park with this. I always said that it looks like Apple had designed a Stormtrooper costume, you know? And what's cool about it, I love the fact they kept the tusks.
Yeah.
You know, they kept this design here. The eyes are the same. They kept the brow piece.
Yeah.
They kept, they did a little bit of styling in here. They kept the vents, which is great. You know, they kept these wonderful vents. One of the things about this costume, and I'll show you, and I'll let you guys see as we do a close-ups at the end, they really did a good job of making that just really thick and looking like
it's well designed.
Just really well done. And as a guy who has a full Stormtrooper costume, you know, I can say I've got that what we call the FX version of the Stormtrooper costume, which is good. It's it's a really good costume, and it's ABS, and it could be movie quality. And matter of fact, it is, and it's technically it's canon now because they got a lot of the guys in the 501st.
Yeah, to be extras in Mandalorian.
Right, so technically it's a canon costume now. Yep. So there you go. So they got a lot of guys, and I bought it from a 501ster. Well, anyway, so it's good enough to easily be in movies, but this is good enough to be the hero scene in a movie where they're doing details and all that. Yeah. You know, I mean, it is.
Well, yeah, they had the mold,
That's
so
right.
It really wasn't that big of a stretch for them to start mass producing.
Well, even if they don't, they would have had 3D scans and all that.
But in the past, most helmets that you would buy weren't of this quality.
No, they weren't.
No, they were a little on the cheap side, some of them.
And this one, I think, has got the buttons here that you could do the dialogue and stuff like that. I have not really worn it or anything like that. I put it on my Stormtrooper in the store just to see what it looked like, and I realized, oh yeah, Delia's pretty yellow now.
Yeah, she's been in the sun a little bit. I've got a little age on her.
She has. She's been. But let me just say, for those collectors out there, what's cool about this, as opposed to some of the other stuff you can see my iPad, but a little light on it to the side. But what's cool about this is that this helmet, I think it was $119, $99 to $119. It really, for that price point, especially when you consider a Novos was doing one a couple years ago for like $600, $700, you know, and then they did one. I think their launch price was you pay $200, then you pay the rest of it when it comes out.
Wow!
I don't see how you can really get much better than this as far as collecting quality goes.
Yeah.
Because can something be better than this? Sure, it can be better than this.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be movie accurate.
Oh yeah, as you're looking at it on screen right now, it's. I mean, they've even got these nice little straps right here, these little pieces that every detail that you see on the screen is in this helmet. Yeah. So I liked it so much when I got it, and I didn't know how much. I knew I had to have the Stormtrooper to me being a big Stormtrooper fan, and obviously my helmet obsession. I actually said, you need to get that Mandalorian helmet. So after I got this one, I went ahead and picked up the Black Series Boba Fett. It's pre-ordered. And then I picked up the Mandalorian helmet right before you came over. That's pre-ordered that. So I'll have those three. I already have the Don Post.
Which one?
Which one what?
Pre-best car or post-best car?
Well, his helmet really never changed.
He didn't add. I thought he added. I thought it shined it up.
It might have shined up a little bit, but his helmet it was the same helmet.
Right.
But it's got the little light clip on it, so I don't know if you consider that pre or post. But it's a silver helmet, so
right.
You'll reference the toy.
I was looking at it back there. Yeah, it's about the same helmet.
Silver helmet. But I went ahead and got after I saw this, I went, my God, if the Boba Fett helmet is anywhere near this, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
And it'll be at least better than my Don Post one from the early '90s, which is not bad. It's just it is what it is.
It's just
but this has the support, the head support and all that, and the visor's very clear. Whereas my Don Post, here's the way they did that one in the '90s. They had this really thin piece of just plastic cellophane. Really, it's thin, and to get the cloudy effect, they dusted it with spray paint. They just dusted it, and that's how they did it. So when you look through it, you can see the specks of spray paint. It's pretty bad. But anyway, so for my show and tell this week, I am showing the Star Wars Black Series, the Hasbro Black Series, the First Order Stormtrooper helmet. If you're a collector and you like Star Wars stuff, this is definitely the way to go if you want a helmet. It's nice. Awesome. It's a good showpiece, and it look good in your collection.
And like we discussed it, I do not know why they will not just make the whole suit of armor that you could buy.
Do you think
I mean, there's no reason why they can't. I don't understand why they don't.
I don't see that as being as something they won't do. I think they're going to sell these helmets and go, okay, let's go to the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah, well, I mean, they should.
Why not?
Yeah,
they're leaving money on the table if they don't.
I agree.
I mean, I would easily buy a Fett costume, a costume to go with this if it was this affordable. If it was priced similar.
Well, when you look at the people who are buying these things are our age, probably right. Median age of 40.
Right.
Probably. And they've got money to spend, and they want something like that because
that's right. We grew up with it.
Yeah. So why keep letting third parties take all your money?
That's right. Well, and Disney's. I will say this: Disney's done a better job. It's hard to say this, but Disney with Hasbro has actually done a better job of mass marketing the products.
Yeah.
And it's hard to say that because
they've got the machine to do
that's
it.
That's right. And not that Lucasfilm didn't have the machine because Lucasfilm basically invented the machine.
I'm about to say, yeah.
Yeah, but Disney they've been doing this for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
They actually been doing it a lot longer than Lucas. Ever since you get a Mickey Mouse watch, man. I mean, they've been doing this a long time.
And the ears.
All right, Rob, what you got for show and tell?
Okay, a few weeks ago, right now, if you're a Gen Xer or a geek in general, Masters of the Universe has kind of been at the forefront.
It has been.
Of people's minds because Kevin Smith's show Revelations is coming out. They've reintroduced they're reissuing kind of a variant on the original toy line where they're re-releasing the figures, but they're giving them a little more articulation and all. And I broke down and bought a few, but after looking at them real close, I don't really like them, so I'm not really displaying them. They did. I will say they did improve Battle Cat,
right?
Because he now has some flexibility. You can move him around some. So he's an improvement. But
remember the original Battle Cat was actually from either Big Jim or the Action Man series.
Was it really?
It wasn't an actual. It wasn't made for He-Man.
Okay. And it
was a tiger.
Yeah, and it was static.
Mm-hmm.
He had that. He was like this, but he didn't.
It was a repurposed toy.
No articulation.
It was a repurposed toy.
But anyway, Chris and I, we were texting back and forth one day, and Chris sent me a picture of somebody who had taken an old Castle Grayskull and painted it, and it looked incredible. The guy was very talented. I'm not very talented. But anyway, that got me thinking because I've back in '84,
I don't know,
83,
man. Your diorama for your bar is pretty impressive.
But that's just organizing. That's not painting anything. But anyway, I've had back in '83 or '84, whenever it came out, for Christmas, I got the original 8 Figures of Master Universe, and I got Castle Grayskull. And through the years, Castle Grayskull, all the insides are gone, all the accessories are gone. It's literally just a shell, and it's moved around from place to place. But it was real good design. Castle Grayskull looks awesome, but people have done some really amazing things with Castle Grayskull. Well, anyway, Chris showed me some stuff that did, and it's one of those things that it just kind of sparked something in me. I'm like, I've got this Castle Grayskull. I don't really have any artistic talent, but I'm going to modify it. I'm going not modify it. I'm going to paint it and just try my hand. And it's one of those things, one of those ideas that just took hold, and it was all I could think of. Like I stayed up that night planning it all out and everything, and I did it in the most simplistic way possible. My daughter Abby, she's actually a pretty good artist, and JT is too, though he doesn't draw much. But she had paints and everything, and I went to Walmart and I bought some bone white paint, some gray paint, and kind of
because you decided to go with the bone thing.
Yeah, and she had paint and all this. So over the next 2 days, I modified my Castle Grayskull.
Or you're gonna keep it unveiled?
Yes, unveiling.
Unveiling.
It is wearing
a t-shirt.
T-shirt.
Wait, it's a red shirt. It's gonna die.
Yes. And so I did my own modification of Castle Grayskull. Turn this around here.
The drawbridge fell.
Yeah, it's broken. But it goes back in place.
So you did the bone white.
Yeah, so I did a bone white, and as you can see.
Go ahead and show that. Let's start with that so we can see the door. Let's see. All right, this is a shell.
Yeah, it's literally there's nothing inside.
All right, you did the bone white. You want to show it like on your
Yeah. So basically, I did a base coat of bone white all the way over it, and then I did some gray. Get back over there. I did some gray where the rocks are, and it oversprayed some, but I kind of was like, that kind of works because
actually those gray stones on the bottom look good.
And I took just basic black paint that my daughter had, and I painted the door, and she had a red paint pen, and that's how I did the all the accents on the door. And then I went through what I want to do now, this, that, and the other, because originally I had a plan and I liked it, and I think it would have worked if I was more talented. I was actually going to take all the creases and paint them red. All the indentions, so that it was like the castle was glowing from the inside. And I started doing it, and it just wasn't working because of my lack of talent and the paintbrushes I had and all that. So I went back and I was doing the back, and I repainted it again. And then I came in, I gave it some accents, and I've never done anything like this before, and obviously. So I gave it some red accents and some black accents, and tried my hand at dry brushing. And I learned with dry brushing, you really got to get all the paint off of the brush more so than you would think. Because apparently paintbrushes hold a lot of paint. Yeah, just to kind of scuff it up and give it some character and such. And like I said, it's not great, but I like it better than what I had. And I'm proud of it because I've never done anything like this, and it's not going to win any contest. But honestly, I kind of like it, and I now have it displayed with my 2002 Four Horsemen figures. But like right here
on the door,
painting that was just done with a paint pen.
Yeah, that looks good. That looks really good. Is that black or is that brown? That's black.
That's black.
Okay.
Yeah, the colors I went with were black, red, and gray, and white.
And on the new, if you guys have seen the new Castle Grayskull that they came out with, the last one before the newest one is quite a bit larger because they had to fit the new size of He-Man and all that. They've done a lot more accent details in the doors, actually wooden.
Yeah.
And
well, basically the whole thing was just kind of that weird green color.
Right, and then they added the wood details, up here on the thatching or on the shingled roof and on the shingle down there, and even on the front where you have the cross beams holding up whatever that is.
And I want to kind of the reason I went with these colors, I want to kind of a not natural, otherworldly, skeletal kind of look to it. So that's why I went with the blacks and the reds and all that. One thing I am going to do eventually, I just haven't got around to it. I'm going to get red cellophane and I'm gonna line the insides of it, and then I'm gonna get a battery operated push light and make it glow out red.
Interesting.
And such. But anyway, so for the first time, I've displayed it in the past as it was, and I never did like it, and I'll always take it down. But now I've got it displayed with some of my 2002 Four Horsemen figures, and I'm very pleased with it.
All right.
Like I said, it's not going to win any contest, but it's one of those things. I did it, and I like it, and it's good to go.
That's Rob's Castle Grayskull.
It's crying blood for some reason, but
yeah, he's sad. It's his Bond. It was a Bond villain at one point. Yeah. This is Rob's Castle Grayskull 2.0.
Yeah.
All right, Castle Grayskull.
And that scratched my Master Universe itch. So I'd actually ordered a bunch of stuff, but after I did this, I was like, I'm good, and I went and canceled it all.
He sent it back. He nixed that order. Let's see. All right, so that's cool. Well, that was it. We did a short. Rob and I decided we'll do a short show and tell. We did kind of one thing. Now, see, you impressed me because instead of having that loaded with 10 figures, you were just like, no, I got the one thing. This is my thing. That was impressive. It was good. It was good. Yeah. Good for you, man. Proud of you.
Sure. I said I won't do it again. Just the way it worked out today.
Oh, come on, man. You should be a statistician.
You're the editor. It's your job to make it all work.
I can't take anything out.
I put the content out there, and you chop it up and make it work.
If you ever got a job to be a movie statistician, I think you would geek out over that. Like tell us to get the numbers for this, the box office numbers, that the viewership, the tickets sold, all that. You'd love that.
I don't think those jobs pay very well.
I don't know if they even exist, but if they did, they'd be like, we need a.
They have the numbers. There's people that track the numbers, but you look at all. If you go out and you just do a quick search for box office sites, there's like 50 of them. So
yeah. Well, they're all paid for with ads. So
yes, it's like 50 sites giving you all the same information,
right?
Which is basically what we're doing,
right? Yeah, but it's our spin on that information.
Yeah, exactly.
And with a lot of incorrect, facts.
Well, really, it's just us, because we talk about stuff, but we don't talk like this,
right?
And so given our viewership, this is more just for us talking about things like this than it is for.
It's ability for us to make sure that we get together and talk about just nerdy stuff like this.
Yeah.
So, which brings me to the Box O Mystery.
It's time for the Box O Mystery.
Today's Box of Mystery. You guys, I'll go ahead and no fanfare on this one.
No fanfare.
No real fanfare. I'm going to go ahead and take this guy out. Move the box down.
Ah.
All right, so when Rob had told me, I think Rob had asked me, sorry about that. Mm-hmm. I think Rob asked me at first, I think you saw the G.I. Joe Classified series before I did, for whatever reason.
I told you about that figure.
And I realized that I picked a blue figure with a blue shirt, so I'm going to have to show close-ups with it. So he's kind of dark anyway.
Yeah, kind of white people.
But you know what's funny is... The first thing I did was go check it out. Oh yeah, you had seen it on one of your toys turd sites. That's nerd toy sites. It's a turd site.
Well, Chris has been looking at it.
Rob goes to these turd sites.
No, Rob doesn't.
That was actually so good. I'm not going to edit that. That was classic.
I think you should edit
Okay, so but it was one of the toy sites that you go to, either Big Bad Toy Store.
Actually, it wasn't a toy site. It was just a geek site that had a toy section.
Yeah. And you sent me this, and I went. You said, "Oh my god!" And the last thing I want to do is start a new series of of figures. But so as I started looking, I was going through all of them, and in true, like we've talked about on the show, true Hasbro fashion, they did that big T joint for the waist, and so it was immediate turnoff for me for most of the figures. But
yeah, you went on a tirade. I've been listening to some of the old GenX faults for the first time in a while. And you went on a tirade against
I hate that. I don't think you like that either.
No.
Neither one of us like that. So, but then I saw a few of them that I liked a lot. And I said, okay, well, this one is one of those figures. Have you looked closely at this yet?
I've looked online. I haven't seen it in person.
Check this out. So you've got the knife comes out.
Yeah.
Right? Not only does he have a gun here that comes out, you also have the exact same gun back there that comes out. I think that hole right there is for his rifle mounts right there.
Yeah.
I don't know why it would do that, but it does. But anyway, with the Classified series, it's their answer to the Black series. Yeah. But check this out. This helmet does a great job of coming off. and it's mounted. I was wondering how good this would stay on there. It's soft enough to where it's a firm mount, so you can put that on there.
Yeah,
and it's like a Blizzard. Just doesn't come.
Yeah,
out.
it seems like Hasbro they're making the move. Like honestly, the Black Series 6-inch figures for Star Wars, they're the main line now.
You think so?
I think they are because the
Well,
3
you're right.
3/4 line.
You're right.
They don't have as many, and they don't push it as hard.
Right, you're right, and then with the collectors are spending money, I mean, if you're going to spend $19 on a little figure, why not spend $22 on a big figure?
Exactly. Well, yeah, that's just it because they're selling the 3 3/4 figures for $14.
And so I'm glad you brought that up because this brings me to this. This is a big gripe I have right now. Okay, this figure right here, it was I think $22, $29, whatever, and you can still buy it online for about that price at this point. So obviously one of the ones that I wanted to get was a Viper figure. It's one of my absolute favorite G.I. Joe figures ever of all time. So I went pricing out. They're already going for $250 online, which meant it was, first of all, it was a Target exclusive, which was stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Because the collectors are, nobody's, really that much physically going to Target. You're buying online. You're buying 5 at a time, 10 at a time, whatever they're doing to be a troop builder. So what's stupid is they picked a figure that you would need to have a troop builder set, if you will. And they said, we're going to make this exclusive to one. We're not going to make enough.
Yep.
And so automatically the scalpers have jacked up these prices to $250, $300. And there's a few other out there that are like that. Nothing big. When I got in touch with, when I started looking for it, I went to a bunch of just off the wall toy sites, which is where I found a different company that I bought that Mandalorian and Boba Fett helmet from. Because those were already going for $300. And I found a dealer online called warptoys.com. And I'll share that out. The guy I talked to, I think they're out of Indiana. And it's Warp Toys. And I'm going to give you a shout out for pricing everything reasonable and keeping it fair. So thank you for not taking advantage of an already challenged and broken marketplace. Thank you very much for doing that.
And most of those things, if you're patient, they're re-releasing things.
Exactly.
Because like one of the two most popular, in my opinion, the two most popular Master Universe figures are Faker and Trapjaw.
That's your most popular.
No, those the people.
I know, you said it's hard to get.
They're as soon as they put out a Faker and Trapjaw figure, they sell out. People on eBay start jacking up the prices. But here's the deal: that new Origins line they're doing, you go out on Amazon and they're $50. You go out on eBay and they're $30 to $75. I've got one pre-ordered on Big Bad Toy Store for $15.
Right,
and it'll be here in a couple months.
That's right.
So it's not.
But you had it pre-ordered, and the pre-orders are sold out. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And so these guys are saying, no, I've got a pre-order coming in. Are you looking at that Hercules toy that came out?
Have you seen that?
Yes, look at that big old mid-joint.
That is awful.
Because of the big mid-joint.
Well, it's not just a mid-joint. Look at everything.
The bicep joint, the top of the leg joint.
Terrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah. You're supposed to think of that. This is why I hate, 87 points or articulation.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Just,
and what's cool about this one, here's one way they covered it up. You have decent joints where it would kind of show in the clothing.
Yeah.
The waist joint is covered up right here with the flak jacket. The knee pads cover up the knee joint.
Yeah, that's a great figure.
This is a great figure. I mean, after I got this one in, I decided, okay, I'm going to do it the way I originally collected G.I. Joe back in the day. I'm only going to do the figures that I actually like.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
Yeah, I like Barbecue. I thought it was kind of cool. I never had him back in the day, but I've got a 3 3/4 over there. I don't really need a big one. If they re-release it and it's affordable, fine.
I thought you were going to say, I like barbecue, but I don't eat it all the time.
Don't need what?
I thought you were actually going to talk about barbecue.
Barbecue. No, but but I also have a love for Zartan, but I may not pick that one up. But when I'm able to get the Viper, that's when I'm going to get the Viper.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of barbecue, did you read his? You ever read his file card?
I didn't know he existed.
Oh, you didn't know that orange one with the little thing on his tank, and he's a firefighter, but he looks like a firefighter from space.
Oh, he's called Barbecue?
Barbecue.
I didn't know that.
His file card says that something like he can open a bottle with his either his teeth or his eye socket, and he can pick up a quarter with his ear. Now, it doesn't say anything about his firefighting skills, but it says, and it even goes on further to say,
how do you pick up a quarter with your ear?
I don't know. I don't know if he's got ear muscles.
That's as bad as the big boa card.
Exactly. That was one of those things where it's like, okay, these are not good traits that make you useful, but
I've been listening to the GenX Vaults, and the old ones we did.
Have you been listening to it or just watching it? Just
Listening to
like
it.
a podcast?
Listening to it on the.
We originally
on
did
the
this as a
driving
podcast, but
and such. And we got to the big boa card where he makes them crawl uphill pushing a bowling ball with their nose.
with your nose.
And I'm just like, we should try that.
I don't think just
We
film
should
it.
we should find someone to
How tall is the
like,
hill?
get JT to
JT,
try to
look at
push
JT.
to do the crawl thing while pushing a bowling ball with your nose.
And then just say, okay, G.I. Joe.
That's
We
one of the
should-
things
a
Big
series.
Boa
I
made,
like that.
made them
And
do.
then one of us can pick up a quarter with our ear and open a bottle with our eye socket, or maybe
I
it's
guess
a
if you
teeth.
got plenty of earwax, you could maybe stick it to your ear. I don't know.
I don't know, but maybe these guys got ear muscles. I don't know how that works. I don't know. Oh man! All right, so my box of mystery this week is the G.I. Joe Classified series. You guys check this out. If you're a big G.I. Joe fan like I am,
I mean that's just a fine
it's so
figure.
good looking.
Yeah.
It's the only one I have so far, and I'm only going to get a couple. I mean, I just don't see the space. It's 6 inches, and the space is kind of taken up.
Yeah, well, that's where you're gonna put a lot of them.
That's right. But it's cool looking, and I love the helmet. I love the way it comes out. If they're able to do a Wild Weasel and a Viper, I'll be, shut up and take my money. But the Viper's already sold out, and it's not worth $220. I mean, I can't get that. So I will be patient and wait, and then hopefully one day next year on GenX Vault, you will see us, and I'll be happy with a Viper. Yeah. So that's my pick for show for box and mystery this year.
Box and mystery?
Box of mystery. I'm like stepping all over
You
my
are.
words today. Okay, so I got to jump this out there real quick. Okay, ready? So I'm going to go and apologize for the last episode of Gen X Vault because the camera was autofocusing all over the place. And I have been, when Rob and I took the hiatus and I came back, I was trying to figure out the best way to set this up because I operated as a one-man shoot. I set up the camera, I set up the key lights, I set up the backlights, and then I go through and I edit. But trying to get the camera to autofocus on one thing, obviously it kept trying to go to my face, to the top outer, my face, to the top outer, and I realized that I've just got to manual focus this thing. And so it dawned on me after just Googling all over the YouTubes, I finally, accidentally clicked on what I thought was a YouTube video because I wasn't looking at it, and it was the GH4 owner's manual. And a guy had made a really short owner's manual on how to switch it to manual focus. So, guy out there with GH4 owner's manual that randomly did this, thank you so much. I hope this works out. And if this one did, the Gen X Vault's film quality will be so much better heretofore.
I look forward to that, yeah.
You did what?
So I look forward to that. I was just looking at some
Man,
stuff.
if you find a Viper for me.
I know I was looking. The Big Bad Toy Store don't have it listed.
You can do all the lists you want. You find a Viper. You can make a 2-hour list. I'll sit there and listen like this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look enamored.
Yep.
Watching them lists.
No, Viper is hard to find.
Hard to find. It's just, I mean, and the thing is about a Viper, he has a big face shield, but goggles on top. Like, why?
Yeah.
He already has his face shield, but still, it's awesome. It doesn't look right without it. It just doesn't. I tried it too. All right, let's see. All right, Rob. It is time for some shout-outs.
Shout-outs.
I got some shout-outs. You have shout-outs?
A few.
All right. I'll tell you what. I'll go ahead and let you start with shout-outs.
First of all, a rest in peace. If you're a Gen Xer, Richard Donner was a big part of your life, and he died recently.
Yep, Superman.
Superman, Goonies,
Oh,
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, what a weird, but hugely successful catalog.
Yeah.
Wow.
And his wife was instrumental in bringing the X-Men movies to.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that. Did not know
Lauren Schuler Donner. Harrison Ford turned 79 last week. The Ageless Wonder.
So he will be.
He's currently filming Indy 5.
Yeah, as almost an octogenarian.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
2 years old.
Wow.
JT got a job a couple weeks ago. He's working with an HVAC guy out of Twin City. Mm-hmm. So he's doing a lot of driving, but we figured it up, and he's still making money. So
that's good. That's good.
Abby cannot stand that he has a job.
Why?
Because she wants to make money too.
Oh, okay.
And, so she's been looking, but she's 16, so it's hard to.
But you've said she's the materialistic one. JT's not. JT's the one making money,
and that kills her more too because JT keeps most of his money
and doesn't spend.
Basically, he spends money on food, and every now and then he'll go buy a video game or something.
When JT did some odd jobs for us here and there, he never cashed his checks.
Yeah,
he would actually told me the other day. She goes, I think he might still have some checks that he never cashed.
Right now he's got $400 worth of checks that's been sitting there about 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he needs to cash those checks. Well, especially if they're looking at their balance, they need to, he needs.
But Abby has done some house sitting.
Yeah,
she house sit for a couple.
Is she free tomorrow?
I don't know.
We might need her to watch Packer again.
She house sat for them for a week and made some money, and then she helped JT house sit for y'all.
Okay.
So they split the money.
I might get her to come over here tomorrow.
In fact, remind me, she said that she left her charger. She actually came and stayed over here with him a couple nights, and she left her charger in the mother-in-law suite.
Okay.
Because she stayed in there.
Oh.
So,
did she sleep on that bed?
I don't know.
Okay.
I guess that's where she lived.
Okay, that explains where my guitar was off to the side. She also left a footy there, a sock.
Okay.
In the
she wanted to remind me
the cushions
to pick that up.
Okay.
But she also helped JT clean up before y'all got back.
Okay.
Because JT's not good at that kind
of
thing.
He's not.
But she is. But anyway, so she's been making some money and she's been house sitting.
Side note: either JT's an alcoholic or he doesn't know the difference of regular drinking glasses and highball glasses. Because somebody would know.
With JT, it's whatever there's first.
And he must have opened that cabinet.
Like, this is the whole liquid.
Started grabbing the highball glasses. I was like, all right, there you go.
He's not an alcoholic.
All right. I didn't know if he was I had to check my whiskey afterwards.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if you saw the pictures, but Melinda got stung by a wasp.
I saw that. That was bad.
Bet she's allergic.
Yeah.
Because her face swelled up like scare little children.
I'm going to throw that picture up here.
No, don't throw that picture.
Okay, I won't throw that picture. I'm going to throw that picture up.
And,
Good
Facebook. She was, but she...
Oh, she put it all over Facebook.
I was shocked at how
she
much
put it
her
all
face,
over Facebook.
So, we'll put one out to show how pretty she is, and then show what she turned into.
We'll do the before and after the wasp battle.
And but she recovered from that, and then she went to Savannah the other day, and she fell and skinned her knees.
What?
Her knees are all bloody.
Oh my god!
And Linda's kind of klutzy.
Oh,
but
this wasn't on the same week of the vacation, was it? The staycation, as she said.
No, this was a couple days ago. So she still got scabby knees.
Okay.
Coming down like a kid, but that's about all the shout outs that I have for the moment. There's probably something else, but I didn't do other than I did this James Bond stuff about 2:00 like last night.
You're working that late.
So,
yeah. Well, I'm going to go ahead and jump in on mine. The shout out to Mom and Dad B for their 50th wedding anniversary. We were able to spend that with them last week in Maine, and it was a lot of fun. We went to all up the coast and saw a lot of lighthouses, and then of course we stayed in Portland, and it was just one day, oh my god, we had gorgeous weather. It was like 70 degrees, and you're just walking around downtown Portland. It was seeing the historical sites. It was really, really, really pretty, and it was a nice time. So congratulations on your 50th wedding anniversary.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. I want to congratulate my niece Virginia for graduating. You have done a fantastic job on guitar.
High school?
High school. She's about to start. Yeah, she's about to start. She's actually going to be going, moving to Nashville and starting there, cool. Working there, and then coming back and then reapplying to UGA next year.
Right.
And so she's done an awesome job. But she's a fantastic guitar player, one of the best I've taught in a long time. Just a great guitar player. One of the best I've taught ever, actually. And a good songwriter. She's the one that got me into Billie Eilish. So I had to give a shout out for that. Yeah. So, and again, Warp Drive Toys. Thank you guys so much for not pillaging on the prices of the helmets. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to give you a shout out. If you're a toy collector and you want to check out something that maybe you don't have, go to Warp Drive Toys and tell them that GenX Vault sent you. It won't get you a discount, but maybe to get us some street cred. I don't know.
Yeah.
So how much is that? That's
$47 with free shipping.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's finally, is that on, where does it say? July? Email me that link. That one's kind of worth it.
Get it by Thursday, July 22nd, so he's got it now.
Okay, I'll check that out. Rob found it.
It was just a basic eBay search.
It's just a basic eBay search.
Yeah, brand new. What it says.
All right, well, maybe somebody got in a big shipment and they just are letting it go. So I'm going to try that Viber. By the time you see this, it'll be gone.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. Again, I'm Chris Mitchell.
Rob Kennedy.
And this has been GenX Vault. We will see you next time.